Mic check, mic check.
Actually, 5 o'clock. Hallelujah.
Hi.
We're on time. It's Chelsea and Tony live, and we have 2 very special guests. It's Eric Lowenbach from Mojave Mornings Photography and Erkki Alvenmond filling in for Siobhan. And he's from Alvenmond Photography. 2 very talented photographers. Got lucky people tuning in tonight to tonight's show.
Yeah, we're excited to have you guys here. Also in the studio, we have Justin.
Justin's here.
Justin Eckert, our producer, who's
He's the man.
frantically trying to make everything work up to seconds ago. No
Yeah,
joke.
it was rough, really rough today.
So today we're off to a rocky start, but I think that we're going to do it.
We're having a good time. Tell them who makes all this possible.
Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your ideas. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. You can try Squarespace at squarespace.com/Tony, and if you want a bargain, 10% off, Nelly. Use the coupon code Portfolio.
Did you say Whoa Nelly?
Nelly. I think that either Eric
Yeah,
or
I'll
Erkki. Okay,
thank you.
Justin's on it.
you're on.
I made use of my Squarespace portfolio just this past week because we were traveling around with Eric Lowenbach out in the California Sierra, and we took some great pictures, and I wanted to put in my portfolio, and it was so easy. I just dropped them like right in there. I spent lots of time in Lightroom. It was not easy. I had to go all the way to California, spend a week taking pictures. But then the putting them online part was super easy. You just drag them in there. It makes it beautiful. It works on mobile devices, whatever. Eric, do you feel like you got any portfolio pictures from this last trip that we took?
I got at least one at Mono Lake that I really liked.
Yeah, good. I put a bunch of my portfolio, and then just now I went to look at my portfolio after sitting on it for a couple of days. I'm like, that picture's not that good. You ever do that? It looks great when you're editing it, and then you get fresh eyes on it, and you're like, no.
Well, it's also hard when you have so many good memories tied to a photo. You just have this connection to it that's a step beyond the picture, so that can be difficult too.
Well, Eric, to introduce you, do you mind if we just take a quick glimpse at your Squarespace hosted portfolio?
Sure.
We have the same layout.
Yeah.
Fist bump.
Look at these landscapes that he gets. Just surreal and just gorgeous. Oh, this looks like Mono Lake, in fact. That might be from our trip.
Yep.
Beautiful lighthouse. Oh, gorgeous starscape. Yeah, Eric, you're a very talented photographer. We're thrilled to have traveled with you and to have you on our show today, giving people feedback on their own landscape photos. If you want to send in your landscape photos, they don't have to be as good as Eric's. We'll be giving criticism. Eric will be giving you feedback too. You can go to sdp.io/submit, and when prompted, use the password turtle to send in your photo for submission during the live show. Because no, it's like a really old meme, but it just came up this past week, and it's an inside joke. If you want your own cool Squarespace hosted portfolio, go to squarespace.com/Tony.
I do.
You get a 14-day free trial, no credit card required. And then if you decide you like it, you can try it out. Use the coupon code portfolio, and that'll get you 10% off. If you have a portfolio you want us to look at, go to sdp.io/link, and we'll take a look at it during the live show. We'll take a look at a couple during the live show. Let's introduce our friend Erkki from Sweden. Erkki.
Did you know he's a Viking? Hey. He doesn't have a boat, so.
Yeah, and he doesn't pillage and stuff.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to say the other things Vikings are known for. We'll just leave it with pillaging.
Sailing.
I think his... How do you say this word in Swedish? It's like hund.
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 You can translate as also.
That's dog.
No, I like to play on hard.
Yeah, hund.
I like your dog pictures. They're really amazing, and your dog pictures have been published like everywhere, right?
Yeah,
You've had
I actually
billboards.
had a few magazine covers as well. So it seems dog photography is my thing. But I do other stuff as well, families and weddings and stuff.
Yeah, are you going to come take pictures of our dogs when you stay with us?
Yeah.
We're doing that thing where you try to get free work out of your photographer friends.
I'll let you crash on my
That
couch.
we hate from everybody.
I'll let you crash on my couch.
It'll be really
you know
easy.
what?
Just do a little Photoshop.
Just give me the unedited files
Yeah.
on a thumb drive. It's going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
What?
good promotion for me, right?
It's good for you.
I was about to complain about a friend who did something to us recently with free photos, but then I realized they might be watching, and I don't want it to get too personal.
We have like one friend, so whoever it is, they're
Yeah,
like,
we don't want to ruin that relationship.
yeah, we have no more bridges to burn.
Okay. We're going to cover a couple of news elements, go over some new stuff that we have, and then we'll take a look at your landscape photos. So go to sdp.io/submit, password turtle.
Turtle.
We have so much new stuff here. What did you want to say about our studio portraits? Oh, this is in 2 weeks. We're off again next week. Sorry, we're traveling
It's our
a lot now.
anniversary.
Right. So we're taking a day off.
Isn't that sweet? So we'll be back the week after next, June 9th, and you can submit your studio portraits. We have a behind-the-scenes portrait shoot video that we just put out, so you can watch that to learn some tips. And then I also put out an editing portraits video to go with that. You can learn some tips on editing your portraits before you submit. You've got 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
So I'm really expecting some good stuff.
You're saying studio portraits, but what's Kyle Wolf going to do?
No, listen. I already thought about this. I'm trying to be fair. This doesn't have to be some big fancy studio. You could use a sheet as a backdrop. You could use a flash as a light. You could use many things as light. You could use a lamp if you're being creative, but it should be indoor staged studio-esque picture, even if you're on a budget.
Okay. While I was thinking of it, I was going to show that we met up with Kyle Wolf while we were in California, and we have some group photos, but I don't know if I can quickly find them. I'm not good at Twitter.
You went too far.
Yeah,
but I think if you look at my Twitter,
Chelsea Northrup.
Chelsea Northrup. There you go.
Well, that's us with Justin.
Yeah,
we see
yeah.
Justin all the time.
I lied.
Okay, we met up with Kyle. Thanks for meeting with us, Kyle. I'm sorry we can't produce any photographic evidence of it, but it did actually happen.
And we met his dad too, who's awesome. And I always joke that I wanted to adopt Kyle, but then I met his dad and I was like, I want Kyle's dad to adopt us.
Yeah, he's got like a 61 911 that he keeps running.
Yeah,
and,
he's cool as heck.
He's
He
cool.
fixed my finger. No, he didn't fix it, but he does some stuff.
He got you on the right path.
Yeah.
A bit of news, Twitter is changing their policies, and it can be a big deal for photographers. Right now, there's a 140 character limit. And if you attach a picture, that consumes like 20 or 30 characters.
Did you see I put the story in there too?
No, I did. This is your story.
Oh, okay.
So it's really difficult. If you wanted to attach pictures, suddenly you can't say as many words, and you're limited to 140 characters anyway.
And we all have so many words to say.
Yeah. So they're taking that away. And attachments, I think links, usernames won't count against your 140 character limit. But it hasn't yet rolled out. It'll roll out soon.
It's going to roll out.
But it will change things for photographers. It
Yeah.
means you can tag more people. It means you can be a little more wordy about
It
your
means
photos.
you can be obnoxious as heck. Oh, I forgot.
Is this for real, or is this just a rumor about the Sigma 85?
It's supposed to be real. Sigma new art lens, the 85 f1.4. They're saying it's true.
Oh, but it's a rumor, but they think they're confident about it. Because
Hey.
Sigma hasn't made an announcement yet, have they?
I'm making an announcement right now.
We don't have any inside information. It would make perfect sense because they have this magnificent set of products.
Well, I put it up there because I'm excited about it. Because it's an excellent portrait lens. I would grab that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we have the 20 f1.4 now, and it's spectacular. We have the 50 also, but those I wouldn't use a 50 prime very much, but I love an 85 f1.4 for portraits. There's just something about it that's distinctive, and they make the best prime. Sigma really does. So that we can look forward to that soon. And yes, we're still waiting on the 50 to 100 review. As soon as we get it, we've been asking for it like weekly. We just don't have the gear yet. We got in the Pentax K1 this past week.
A fan sent it to us.
Right, not from Pentax, who has yet to loan us anything, but our friend Vladimir out in San Francisco got a new camera in and loaned it to me with 2 brand new lenses, which is just remarkable. Thank you so much,
That was
Vladimir.
a reckless decision.
It was, especially as I was about to take it traveling. But so far, we are loving the K1.
I haven't done it. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's a full frame 36 megapixel camera for $1,800, which is a remarkable price point because the D10 is 36 megapixels, but it's like $2,800. Like it's $1,000 more. And this one has things like a tilting screen, Wi-Fi, GPS, all these extra
How's the
features.
lens selection?
Really, really limited.
Okay.
That's a really big downside to the Pentax system. And they've like rebranded Tamron lenses. Like that 24-70 is a rebranded Tamron, and that's a good lens, but at the same time, we weren't like, it has some weaknesses too.
Okay.
And you don't have other options.
So we have to do an extensive test. I want to see some side-by-side stuff.
We've kind of done the like real world portion of it because I used it more than anything else while we were in the Sierras. So I really put it to the test and got great results out of it. We also got in this grip for our Sonys. This is a battery grip. So it's got...
Justin, maybe your swearing days are over.
It lets you put 2 batteries into your Sony instead of just one, and it doubles the life of a Sony. But it also like doubles the size of the Sony, makes it really big and incredibly ugly. But it's only $60, and if you're struggling with battery life issues on the Sony, it can help. But it's still, it's kind of frustrating that you have to have this big ungainly thing attached to get more reasonable battery life out of it. So we'll be testing that. We also got a couple of Zekin bags in.
Is that how you say that?
How would you pronounce it?
Zekin, just like you.
Oh, okay.
Zekin.
We're
like
generally
this one.
looking for a new travel backpack. So we're testing a few different backpacks. I took the Manfrotto Bee-Free backpack out to California, and I just loved it, which is saying a lot because I hate almost every bag and backpack that we've ever had in, including like just the Langley Alpha I hated.
Whoa, strong words.
Manfrotto Bee-Free was awesome. These bags seem to be awesome, but you have to like
We
actually
have to
take a
them out.
trip with them.
Yeah, let's take a hike.
So we'll follow up on that soon. I know some people have sent some pictures in, so let's take a look.
Okay, so we're going to have Eric help us out. He is a landscape expert. No pressure. No pressure, Eric.
Though maybe Eric's not on the line at the moment.
Yeah, something like that.
We
I'm
lost
trying to
Eric's connection.
troubleshoot it with him.
But Erkki's okay. Erkki is here. What do you think about this picture, Chelsea? First, if you were Ansel Adams, you would define landscapes as being pictures that do not have any man-made element in them. And we're going to have more flexibility than that.
I'm not.
Right. And for some reason it's saying it can't find the file, even though... Oh, I bet Erkki's sorting through them. So I can't make adjustments to it. It doesn't have white points in it, but I think that actually highlights the mood.
I
think
thought
it's
that
nice.
too.
Yeah. I think this is one case where it's okay not to do that.
Hey, I think there are many cases where it's okay, but that one seemed deliberate.
Yeah.
This is so crisp and fresh. It makes me want to eat a piece of gum and yodel or something.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. Eat some Swiss chocolate.
And it's taken in
It's
Iceland.
Iceland.
And we were talking about Iceland because it's kind of a... If somebody really knows Iceland well, maybe send me an email if you are also willing to be our tour guide. Because we like the idea of traveling places with people who are skilled, but because it's so much better. Well, Eric's not on the line now, but we traveled around California with him, and Eric really knew his location.
but
It made
he was-
such a difference in the pictures that we
He
got.
and his wife were so wonderful. I think that they set the bar high, so I'm nervous to do that again.
Yeah, I know.
But they should email me because I got to make sure that they can make me laugh first.
Okay. If you're extremely familiar with Iceland and you would like to give us a tour, email chelsea@northrup.org.
I feel like a brat now. Like, that's such an honor to have someone show you around. I'm like, also be a jester for me. Entertain me.
Yeah. You better
like
make good
Eric.
coffee too.
Yeah. Coffee mug.
Eric, what do you think of this landscape photo?
Ugly.
Can you see stuff?
Good.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't hear him.
You might be
Gesture.
muted, Eric.
I'm muted.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. I like to mute myself every now and then. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Iceland one or the one that I see behind you?
The sunset.
Yeah, the Sri Lanka photo here.
I actually can't see it.
Oh.
Well, certainly the colors are very beautiful there. It seems like it would be better if it had a little more something going on in the foreground, but I love the reflection. Light is beautiful.
I like the reflection too.
Pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. Something in the foreground could help here. It can be difficult. It doesn't always present itself, but if there were like a washed up log or something.
I like that they got that a little longer exposure to get prominent.
Yeah, though actually it was a 55-second exposure. Long exposure. Oh, they used a longer exposure.
That's what I said, boo.
I misheard you.
Yay. Hey. That's what I said.
This is in Wales, which is just south of Palo Alto.
Oh, yeah.
My first thought is maybe they dropped the blues a little too much. And this is like, we're going to see this a lot today. This is just the first one we're noticing.
Let me tell you something I learned when I was in California. When your elevation is high, your sky can get intense. It may have been the dryness too. It could be the dryness as well that makes the blues more intense. But a lot of my pictures, the blue looks artificial, and that's pretty natural. I didn't have to do a lot to get it there. Right, Eric?
Yeah, we saw some really stupid blues on that trip, didn't we?
We saw some crazy blues.
Yeah, when you go to post your picture, I always felt like I had to say, this is straight out of the camera, because it looked like it had been processed.
The world
like I'd
can
overdone
look like
it with
this.
the saturation.
Yeah. So maybe they feel that way too. That's what I'm saying. But I like this leading line, walking you down the path in between these two stone walls. It's really beautiful. I love the dappled light from the clouds.
What are your thoughts, Eric?
Well, it's almost like an X. I mean, I see like 4 leading lines kind of pulling you right into the center of the picture.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
You're right.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if there were actually something in the center, but once again, you can't always get that.
I was thinking that too, like if there were, a majestic tree or a giraffe. I don't know what's native to Sri Lanka, but...
What the heck?
Chelsea might need a battery, Justin.
Okay.
And this picture has much more muted colors than, say, this picture. But what do you think about it, Eric?
Well, I do love the muted colors, and I like how that stream kind of wanders through the picture and kind of invites you to follow along with it.
Yeah, I like the stream.
Takes you on a little eye journey? Is that what you're saying?
Eye journey.
Takes you on a little eye journey.
But once again, it seems like it's missing the focal point, like the center of interest that really pulls you in.
Yeah, you can feel this physically when you look at a picture. Like, think about where your eyes go. Like, let your eyes go where they naturally go, but think about where they go. And for me, my eyes go just all over the picture. It kind of goes here, and then it goes up here, and then over here, but it doesn't rest anywhere because there's really not like a focal point to lock in. Oh, this is a tough one. Because here we have some flowers in the foreground. What's that?
That was a pretty dramatic sigh.
Yeah, because we were just talking about missing a focal point.
You're looking for your mouse battery.
And this has flower foreground, which is a great thing to do, but they're out of focus. And I always struggle with this. Eric, what would you do with this? Because he's at f3.5. If you shut down further, you start to lose sharpness because of diffraction. Where would you focus? What would your f-stop be if you wanted to get these flowers in focus and these hills in the background?
At least f8, and you'd want to focus more on the flowers because what's in the background doesn't really need to be all that sharp.
I was thinking the same thing. The mountains don't need to be sharp. It's not the detail. It's more about the shape.
And it's a great location. You need to come back when the sky's a little better.
Yeah, you do just have to revisit spots over and over again, don't you? Yeah, just totally a crapshoot. And for me, there were a lot of times when I just wasn't sure about the f-stop because I know the higher in the f-stop ranges I go, the less sharp my images are going to be because of diffraction.
Yeah.
But the shallower my depth of field will be. So I end up shooting at every f-stop. If there's a scene I like, I'll shoot it at f2.8, f4, f5.6, f8, f11, f16, because it's easy to change the f-stop and shoot again. And then when I'm at my computer, I can actually pick. But I can't really evaluate that in the little back of the screen or in the viewfinder or anything. So it's just kind of like easier to take all the shots and then figure it out later.
Yeah, I'll also sometimes stack them a little bit, like just gradually put the focus back so that I can get that wider depth of field without putting my f-stop up to a point where it's like, making the image less sharp.
Yeah, and this would have been a good candidate for focus stacking because it's a fairly flat image. Kyle Wolf's picture. I wonder if this was taken as we were meeting up, because this is definitely Yosemite.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, from the same visit.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember if we had clouds that day. Didn't we have some clouds?
Yeah, it was overcast that day. Mostly.
Yeah.
But he got there earlier than us, so it could have, a few hours can change things. But I like that. I like the leading line of the path. It's nice. Peaceful. Very Kyle Wolfian.
It is really nice. I'm just pondering the crop.
Do we have batteries?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Chelsea has no mouse, so I'm driving everything, and I feel really empowered by it, too.
Yeah, we need to put an end to that. Thank you.
So this is in Portugal, and we were there, too. I don't know if it's the version of the image that we have or if it's actually a little bit unsharp. It could just be...
Sometimes when you export them, you can put the wrong setting.
Yeah, though it does look like a hazy day. And I think that's something that people underestimate about landscape photography is, you can buy the sharpest lens, and they have a great sharp lens. You can get the highest resolution camera, but you're going to end up with a humid day. The stuff's going to be hazy and nothing's going to be sharp.
So we cannot edit any pictures today? Is that what's happening?
No, we can. This is just the first import that I did, and I didn't want to leave these people out, but we'll re-import.
Okay. Yeah, you could use this dehaze tool down here, and that will just make these shadows a bit darker. But don't do it too much. Just tiny bit.
In fact, I will re-import now. Erkki, do you have any questions or comments for us, especially maybe questions for our guest, Eric Lowenthal?
Or Eric. Eric has a lot of
not a lot, actually. I'm beginning to suspect that Chauvin is just making things up because I'm not getting any good questions. I did copy a few of them, so let's see.
You guys are really letting Erkki down.
Yeah. I even asked them to ask questions.
Siobhan has told me they're mostly off topic.
Okay, here's a question, a pretty easy one, but question. If I get a battery from one camera and put it in another camera, would there be damage?
Or there would be a massive explosion. And you should try it, but you should try it with your friend's camera.
Yeah, a lot of photographers die this way.
At least 300 a year.
Yeah, so I would have your friend do it for you, like try to trick them into it.
Well, not a friend, but like maybe an annoying family member.
Oh, it's a great idea. I think we're suggesting homicide. It's a terrible idea. I mean, assuming the battery fits, it should be okay. Like we swap batteries between like different Canon cameras all the time, but you can't stick like a Sony battery in a Canon camera. Not that you'd want to.
Don't try to make it fit. It'll break it.
You have any other questions,
if it doesn't fit, if you like take a hammer or some kind of power tool or something.
That's a great idea. Just hammer it in there.
A hammer would work.
Yeah, lithium ion is pretty stable.
Yeah. Okay, here's one from the Lost Photographer.
Oh
no. Question: will Chelsea be covering William Mortensen in the Photographer series?
No. William said some things he can't take back.
Okay.
They were married for a while. It's kind of uncomfortable for all of us.
No, maybe. I am looking into a lot of different photographers. We have one coming up we'll be recording soon. I won't tell them the topic. But yeah, I'll be covering more photographers and their work and why it matters to us now. So it's a possibility.
Well, let's take a look at a few more pictures and then we'll look at a portfolio.
I like the people on this. It gives a sense of scale.
Right. The people are really key here.
The people are key.
But we have this overcast day with just really flat lighting.
Eric, what do you think of this? Thoughts?
Well, I agree with Tony. When you take a landscape photo, a third of your photo is going to be the sky, more or less, and so there should be something going on in the sky that's worth having in the photo. However, I really like that curve that the water makes. I think shapes are really important, and curves and diagonals especially. So I like the photographer's instinct to shoot that curve and put it, front and center in the picture.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, you can kind of control that too by moving side to side or zooming in and out. You can control whether it looks straight or more curved. You should try the dehaze on this because dehaze is like underrated. They like bury it down at the bottom of the user interface in a weird place, but it can do a lot for a photo like that. You can't do too much with it. It gets a little crazy once you
less
crank
is
it too
more
far, but
with the dehaze tool.
yeah.
I agree with you about that leading line. That was nice.
Focal point. This guy nailed the focal point. It does feel, I don't know if it's my angle. Maybe it needs a little dehaze. Maybe I'm just thinking about the dehaze
Maybe
tool.
you're a little dehaze crazy.
Could be. I do want to kind of check the
One
black.
thing I noticed about you, Eric, that I think is very important to do as a landscape photographer is you find a location and you find your angles and then you keep going back to it in different weather at different times, and you really take in a location and you get to know it.
Yeah, you got to work the scene, especially with landscape photography. You get what you get. You can't, control anything. It's all just whatever it gives you. So you just have to keep going back and trying over and over again until you get something you love.
Yeah.
I mean, chances are pretty good you won't get it the first time you're there.
Well, an example of that is that the abandoned house that we saw in front of the Sierras, the fard light, it was beautiful, but it just didn't photograph as well. We went back, what was it, at sunset that we went back? And we get the pink skies and the prettier light. But if we had been lucky enough to get it at a time where the light was actually, even lower and skimming everything, it would have been even prettier, or more clouds or something. But yeah,
Right.
even that made a difference just in a day, going back a different time of day.
And I really think the biggest factor might be where you live. Like, what great landscape photographer lives in kind of an ugly, drab place?
Like, yeah.
Like, how many Oklahoma landscape photographers do you know?
Well, I don't.
Storm chasers.
Yeah, maybe storm chasers.
Yeah, maybe they just have to find a different focal
But I was thinking
point.
about that today. Like, we're pretty lucky about wildlife. And not a lot of people live in a place where there's wildlife. So
Yeah.
naturally, we have more wildlife pictures.
Right, but Eric here has fantastic landscape pictures. You happen to live in like within driving distance of the Sierras anyway. It's much easier for you to get to Yosemite than it is for us.
He's dedicated, though. He drives hours.
Yeah, that's true. As I was saying that, I was like, yeah, but he drives 5 hours to get to all these locations, and maybe if I drove 5 hours, I could be in a nice spot too.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted again.
Blah.
Don't show Stephanie that feature, okay?
No, definitely not.
I'm just dehazing everything today. Eric, what do you think of this photo? It has focal points.
It looks a little flat to me, and I think the reason for that is the lighting.
Yeah.
However, it is a pretty scene.
You
It's
can
another
tell
place.
you can tell it's midday because their shadows are nearly underneath them.
Right.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Oh, are you cloning the sheep like Dolly?
Well, I hate it when an animal is looking away. So I'm just going to clone one head onto the other.
Dang.
And actually,
That is
out
creepy.
shockingly well.
That
I
is
never expected it to look
creepy
this
as heck. I don't like it.
good. But it's better, right? Look at the before and after. I nailed that.
You're creeping me out.
Trying to go to the next picture.
You know what? This is simple, but I really like it.
I am bugged by the proportions because like this top part isn't quite a third. Like it's clearly 3 layers here, which is nice. And I know it's cliche to just follow the rule of thirds, but I think it might make me happier. The like OCD part
But
of
I
me.
like more sky.
Yeah, I guess you
Let's fight.
make mistakes sometimes too.
Tony, don't be rude.
Look at this shot. This photo is all about the mood.
Oh no, Erkki's pixelated. Call 911. Or whatever Swedish 911 is. Like 428? I don't know.
Erkki, what is 911 in Sweden? And do you know what we're talking about?
112.
112.
Oh, that makes way more sense if you had those old rotary things. Because 9 used to take like a long
Well,
time.
because 9 they'd want you to think about if you really needed it.
Yeah, like if you're bleeding out,
You're like,
you don't want to be like.
All of our young viewers.
I know
like,
everybody
what are
under
they talking
35
about?
has no idea what we're talking about.
112.
Erkki, what do you think of this photo?
He hates
I like it.
Okay.
No, it's nice. Is that some cows or sheep or something in the bottom?
Yeah, so it's one of the something like
Well,
that.
The only thing I only see it on a very small screen here, but the only thing now I can't see anything. There are 2 dots on the hill there. Is it a house or something?
They're
Yeah, a couple of
distracting.
little
Might
trees.
be a little distracting. Oh, it's trees.
Yeah, I agree. Because
Yeah.
it's such a simple composition, they really
Yeah.
stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish those cows they had a little more negative space below them. They're just like so close to the edge of the frame. They're in that like discomfort zone. Are you done?
No, I'm pumping up the jam.
Pump it up while your feet are pumping.
Okay. Did we forget about Eric?
No, I just had Erkki on the line. I didn't forget about Eric.
He's sad. I can feel it.
I think the subject matter of this is not even the people so much as like the contrast, this like spot of light that they're getting.
Yeah.
So I might look for ways to just accentuate that a little bit, just dramatize
I will
it.
say this is not a landscape by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, you're right. Can I give a quick tip about
No.
the contrast? This is your histogram. And it takes the stuff in the middle and pushes it out.
It takes
The
stuff
contrast
in the
takes stuff in the middle and
it
pushes
pushes
it out.
the whites to the right, the blacks to the
So as I push it to the right, look, everything's going to become a big U because all the stuff in the middle gets pushed outside. If you push it to the contrast slider to the left, it takes everything from the outside and pushes it to the middle. So if, for example, your picture's underexposed to begin with and you increase the contrast, everything just gets darker because it's all to the left side, so it all gets pushed to the left. But if your picture is perfectly balanced with everything in the middle, then you actually see an increase in exposure and contrast, and you see a U. Just something I've been thinking about.
You should do this for your job.
Um,
Do you think this is a landscape, Erkki? Go. He's silent.
yeah.
He's
I
speechless.
can't see or hear anything.
He's speechless.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to screen this, but it's not as easy. Yeah, well, maybe not landscape. No, sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a stretch. Let's go on. We got plenty of
Whoa.
But it was
proper
green,
landscapes.
Holy. Whoa.
right?
For real.
That's great. What do you think, Eric? We'll toss it over to you.
Bye, Erkki.
Well, it certainly is pretty, but once again, it seems to be missing a focal point. There should be something to draw the out. I mean, for a little bit.
Mhm.
Is that a cow over there on the left?
This is a little shack.
Seems to be stuck on the side.
Okay.
Tony, you could do that, right? Maybe put a face
you
on
feel
it.
like it's unbalanced?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then once again, I mean, this location would be great if the sky were a little bit better. I mean, I
to
look for
click where you
skies
want it.
like that too, and I always get disappointed when I actually get the photo home and see what I've gotten. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And you're right. If we were to
We should
It's-
just put in a whole village. Like that?
So the visual weight, there's, if we go back to the original photo here, the visual weight of this bunch of trees needs to balance this a little bit. This is a very good photo. That's why we're nitpicking it.
Yeah.
But
I
this
like the
doesn't
photo.
have as much visual weight. So it might need to be moved a little closer to the center, I think, if it were to visually balance. I love this road here.
Yes.
And I think they did something smart, which is to apply like a graduated filter to the sky. You can do that either with a physical graduated filter or in post. And that just brought out some texture in the sky. Because otherwise an overcast sky like that probably looked completely flat. But you take this graduated filter and you just like drag it down here. And then you can, lower the black point just to add some excitement to and drama to the sky. So that way you can just, adjust it separately crank it up a little bit. Make it look more like what your eye actually saw. Maybe we should look at a portfolio.
Yeah, I really like that picture though.
You had somebody on.
Periscope.
Periscope right before the show. You should follow Chelsea on Periscope. It's a live streaming.
Follow me
thing.
on Twitter, and then you'll see my Periscope. It's at Chelsea Northrup. Maybe you could even write at Chelsea Northrup and tell her I need that P. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see when I Periscope before the show. I give you the password early so you can submit your pictures first. And this person submitted their portfolio as well.
Okay. Which one of these grabs you, Chelsea?
Poodle.
This is Lisa Louise Keen's portfolio. It is hosted on Squarespace. There's lots of different templates you can choose from. So they have this one that kind of merges everything together. And right away, I know what we're both going to say. We have 2 pictures of the same family, very similar environment. Wait, is that the same guy?
No, it's not the same family.
Oh my God, but these guys look a lot alike, right?
Nope.
No, they don't look alike? Okay, my bad. The same picture here twice, right?
Yeah.
This kid?
Surprise baby.
Okay.
That's what that's called.
So one of the things we suggest with your portfolios is to minimize any sort of redundancy. The same person, the same subject matter, even the same composition. You want as much diversity in the first portfolio that people see as possible. And this might be the same baby, or maybe all babies look alike. So you want to minimize that. I would start by just thinning this out. But there are a lot of good pictures here.
I know her from our group. Our book comes with a group, and she posts pictures.
Oh yeah,
there. Yeah. She posted that picture there.
So I would, pick one of the poodle pictures. I like this one a lot. It's that unusual composition. Okay, so that's your only portfolio page, which is good. I would just thin it out a little bit, reduce the redundancy. You have more than enough pictures for a perfect portfolio. Let's learn about Lisa. There's Lisa. She's been shooting professionally since March of 2015, so she's in it for a little over a year. And you've got a good portfolio to show for it. You've got a pricing page, contact information, a picture of yourself, and, well, she's about to set up a store. Every Squarespace portfolio comes with a store. Well, let's see what Lisa had to say about using Squarespace. You want to read that so it'll be in a female voice?
Okay. Went to Squarespace after seeing your show, and what a great site to use. Being able to create a new site while, what does it say?
While your existing one is still live, it's great.
Have gone through several revisions and I'm now happy. Thank you for the coupon code.
No problem. If you want your own Squarespace portfolio, you can go to squarespace.com/Tony, set up your pictures, get a 14-day free trial. Then if you decide you like it and you want to pay for it, use a coupon code portfolio for 10% off. We don't get paid. They just let them know where it came from.
Just helps us stay in this game.
We'll take a look at some more landscape pictures, but maybe you want to see if Erkki has any more questions for us. Erkki, has anybody done anything of value, or are they all just arguing with each other in chat like always?
They have.
Oh, good. Thank you, people, for being valuable.
Stepping it up when we need them.
Right. So, Tyler Barton, what does Eric, Tony, and Chelsea think is the most versatile focal length for landscapes?
I would ask Eric, because I think he's far more talented than me at landscape. So let's hear it, Eric.
Shoot. No, I'm not. I like to go ultra wide, 16, 18 millimeters.
That's a good answer. I would go different. If I had to pick one focal length, I'd go 24. And then if you want to go wider, I might even go 35. If you want to go wider, you can always shoot a panorama. 16 to me, very few situations where I use a 16.
But you've seen Eric's shots. They're great.
It totally depends where you're shooting, though. Like in the Sierras, there's like massive expanses. But in Connecticut, there's not a lot of 16 millimeter places. just saying it's okay
Okay.
to have different opinions. Just
Potato.
I defer to the expert.
What
Anything
else do you have
else,
for us, Erkki?
Or Erkki?
Well, Eric Hermanson thinks I should only let pictures from Sweden through. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm screening out everything else.
Okay. I think we probably would have plenty still.
How many pictures do you think we're going to have? Just your pictures. Just your pictures.
Okay. Okay. From Sheila Baker. How well do APS-C sensors work for landscapes? I have a 70D, but worry it will not give enough detail.
I think it's more about the lens than the camera body. I will say super wides for APS-C aren't, the ones that are available aren't of the highest quality. I would love Sigma to make a 10 to 18 super wide for APS-C. But there are good super wide APS-Cs, and for regular landscapes, you could get the Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8, which will give you like full frame sharpness results.
Yeah, but I think there's so many other things to worry about when you're learning landscapes than your gear, especially if you're just getting into it. You don't know if that's your preferred style of photography, so composition's really important. There's just a lot of things to learn when you're out there and you're actually shooting, about getting something in the foreground and adding depth and having the right light. So
yeah, all that stuff definitely matters more. But at the same time, you don't necessarily need to go spend the extra money on a full frame body just to get those full frame lenses. You can get the job done with an APS-C body and get pro results if you get the right lens, and pretty much that means the Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8, because there just isn't a lot of APS-C lenses out there that are like that quality level. You want to go through some chit chat?
I wanted to talk to Erkki.
Okay, more Erkki.
I love Erkki.
Right. For Eric. So I'm actually going to combine two questions because they're very similar. So Jamie was asking, Eric, how do you get the foreground, midground, and distance all in focus when taking landscapes? And AIC says, how about focus stacking to achieve better depth of field?
What do you think,
Well, I've
Eric?
never actually tried focus stacking. It seems like something that might be worth doing. Really, I normally just focus about a third of the way into the scene, because the smaller details in the distance don't really need to be super sharp. If you have mountains that are 50 miles away, they should be a little blurry from the atmosphere anyway. So really, I just focus on what's in the foreground, maybe 15, 20 feet out, stop down to f8 or f11 and just take the picture. And I've never really had any problems with sharpness. Now, if you have something in the extreme foreground, that's different.
Yeah. I will say we cover focus stacking for landscape photographers in Chapter 9 of Stunning Digital Photography. But the general summary is that it kind of sucks. It's like really hard and time consuming, and the results just don't work that well. So it's one of those things that works great in theory, but then when you actually go to practice it, it's really hard to get a good image out of focus stacking.
Yeah, I took pictures for focus stacking and then didn't end up using it. I just ended up using the method that Eric's talking about.
Yeah.
I kind of covered all my bases because I knew we were there quickly, like fast, and I knew that I wouldn't get to go back. So I was just kind of like, oh, I'll just try a few different methods and see what works. And I ended up going with what Eric said. Chit chat. This is the part of the show where we read your comments, and depending on our moods, I don't know. Depends. Let's see what happens. Nick says, yeah, we know Nick. Ah, damn, no Siobhan. Erkki better have cool hair.
Let's see. How's your cool dyed
I
hair?
can't believe you're going to call Erkki out like that. Erkki, when you come stay at our house, you can beat up Tony. I'm not going to complain.
My
And
hair
a
is
single
actually
tear rolls
very,
down
very
Nick's
cool.
face.
It's just very short.
Huh?
My hair is actually very cool. It's just short.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
If it comforts you any, I can reveal why I'm wearing a hat today. Because it's been way too long since I had a haircut. And my hair is it's like crazy.
So
Like,
you're
long
going
gray
to,
hair
okay,
is
so the bald
unbearable.
guy, you're going to be like, I'm wearing a hat because I just have too much hair. What kind of insensitive monster are you, Tony Northrup?
I did hurt Eric's feelings, or Erkki's feelings. I'm sorry. Eric.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You look like a hippie.
He looks like a dirty hippie, I agree. Millionaire Hoy says, my heart actually stopped a bit when I saw the drone explode. LOL, all the feels, even though it was fake. LOL. He laughed out loud twice at your fake drone explosion. Good job, Justin.
Yeah, Justin gets credit for that.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Special
Man-child.
effects. We have a big special effects budget here.
Man-child. 2 minutes in is really awkward. The female is like, okay, this guy's stupid, but let's not have an argument over it because I want to keep this going.
What do you think about that female?
I got downgraded. I used to be upset because I got called the model. Now I'm just called my gender in a very anatomical way. The female. Okay. I don't know what happened 2 minutes in, but that sounds accurate. The end.
It's not actually the end. We'll take a look at some more. Wow. So this one's all sky.
The female likes it.
I would say at least one male likes it too. What do you think, Eric? This is a really different type of landscape.
Negative space can be very powerful, but in this case, I think maybe the clouds are a little bit. They don't really have enough going for them to be the subject of the main point of the picture. That helps.
Yeah, you're right. If there were some more color in it, I think it depends on the presentation too. I think if you were making a wall-sized print, it could be really compelling. If it were on Instagram, it'd be a huge flop. But I'm going to give it a pick because I really like the picture and it was something different. It was something really creative. Oh, we got some crazy distortion going on there too.
No, the wind is just blowing so hard.
Is that Sweden?
It could
Looks
be.
like Sweden.
Now you're trying to guess places. Hold on to your seat, Eric. You're about to get a lot of comments.
This is another shot where my eye doesn't really rest anywhere.
Is this in England?
It is. Cove Devon.
Dang, let's go here. Do you think it gets...
We gotta hurry.
Okay. What do you think of this pink corn? Yay or nay?
You blew up, Eric. We have to reboot
Who are
him.
you asking?
Oh, you, Eric.
I was
Sorry.
unsure too.
Oh. Wow, look at those colors. Those are something.
Yeah. They might be a bit much, right? We have this rule of thumb where we process a picture and then we always dial it back a little bit.
But sometimes even then I go overboard.
Right, and then you look at it 2 days later and you dial it back
You're
some
like,
more because you realize, oh man,
I
what
was
did I do?
actually on acid.
I think it's a beautiful scene, but yeah, I dial back the processing a little bit.
Does anyone else feel lonely looking at this picture?
Yeah, for some reason the file has disappeared, but this one might work in monochrome, but there's almost no color in it.
The crop makes me feel like the picture was cut off. Does anyone else here feel like that? Eric, Tony, Erkki?
That didn't occur to me, but...
Yeah, but look how the rocks are pulling you in. I kind of like that.
Okay. Different strokes.
All right.
It made me feel claustrophobic.
And once again, my eyes don't really have any place to rest, but the clouds are pretty. And
The waves good.
the waves are really pretty, yeah.
The
I'll
exposure.
just work on that foreground a little bit.
It's a snapshot.
Yeah, I'll agree.
It's a snapshot.
It's a nice snapshot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. This is why I want to go to Iceland. Look at this.
Oh, we can't even edit it. This foreground needs light.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice the foreground. Have you ever photographed the Aurora Borealis, Eric?
Never. I wish.
How do you feel about doing a photo tour in Iceland?
I know you haven't been there, but...
I'm down. Let's do it.
Take us there.
Well, what
I've
about
wanted
you,
to go to
Erkki?
Iceland for years.
You must have the Aurora Borealis as your reading lamp up in Sweden. Do you see it a lot?
Actually, no. Not Stockholm is a bit too far to the south, but we do have it. I mean, but you have to go a little bit further. We had it last winter actually, but it was due to some weird solar storms, so you got to see it much more to the south than usual.
Oh, okay. But you didn't get any
But
good
I had
pictures.
it over my house, so that was pretty cool.
You got a picture,
of it.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
got a
did?
picture of
Yeah.
it.
Oh.
I recall seeing a picture like that.
It's on my bucket list. It's not that easy if you live somewhere far away. Let me see how many pictures we have to go through. Okay. We have a lot of pictures to go through.
Tony just
Let's do
assumed
one
it was
step
your
through.
reading lamp. Does that insult you as a Swede?
The what?
He assumed it was your reading lamp.
That lit up the whole sky over Stockholm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be insulted.
Yeah. I'm insulted.
This is a beautiful picture. I had to dial back the saturation. I felt like it was just I just had to a little bit. But I think it's a gorgeous picture, and I love using the sun as a focal point, because so often you don't have another focal point, but especially things like the flare, well, it's super trendy right now. But also I just like it as an element. I noticed in one of Eric's pictures, he used the sun as the focal point.
This is fantastic, I think. Eric, where do you stand on this one?
I love this.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's the shot with a lot of intention, and it's beautiful. And it took a lot of effort to get that. It's not a snapshot. It's like someone took a lot of trouble to get that shot, and it really paid off, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 5 stars.
This is particularly challenging because I can see it's a long exposure, 1.3 seconds, but it also looks like the water is coming up to the point where the tripod would be, and water will screw up your tripod shot. It'll shake the tripod around and just completely ruin it. No, I just mean it'll move stuff. I don't care about the tripod being ruined. So maybe they were just out of reach of the waves. But yeah, it's a beautiful shot, and I appreciate the effort you put into it. What is that, ice?
I think it's ice.
It seems to be glowing, right? That's great. I give it a pick right away. Beautiful shot. This shot feels lonely. It almost needs something in it for scale, like a banana.
A banana?
Yeah. What would you... Is this missing something, Eric? Because that's the way I feel. Maybe clouds or...
Yeah, I mean, I really like simplicity and minimalism, but there really has to be something to tease the eye into staying. Otherwise, you're just going to move on as soon as you see it, I think. Also, I think the sun makes it... I love the sun in the picture, but I think it makes it feel a little heavy on the left.
I was going to say, what if we bring it in?
Yeah, that's better.
I also want to give them kudos for their very subtle watermark.
Oh, there is a watermark there. This is in Argentina, which I had no idea was such a beautiful place. This is a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
Like a classic landscape. Okay, perfect.
Well, I wonder if it'd be possible to get closer to the water.
Yeah.
In this scene, because it's such a beautiful location.
Yeah.
And the water would be such a brilliant feature. Just move down a little bit. I don't know. I've never been there, but it's a beautiful photo.
Yeah, it is really hard after the fact to be like the armchair quarterback and be like, yeah, you should just be hovering 1 inch above the water to pull it into the foreground. But I can, it might be completely impossible to hike down there. It might be like howler monkeys will throw bananas at your head if you go too far off the trail. So sometimes you just don't have the option of moving around, and you just get the best shot that you can. But absolutely a beautiful scene. Gorgeous mountains. Just love that shape.
Yeah. I like the rolling hills, how it adds some dimension to the photo, but this foreground seems dark to me.
It's dark and it's a little bit out of focus, and there's this kind of like vine here that's completely out of focus.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll push that out of the way, but yeah, I think it's imperative that you get that foreground in focus because it's the first place the eye goes. Won't call that a landscape.
Whoa, I love that sky.
Yeah, this is some really dramatic lighting, and clearly like the processing all needs to be done around the sky.
Eric, do you think this is a landscape?
I'll allow it.
When do you draw the line?
When I think I would call a landscape something where the real subject is the land and whatever's in it is part of the story, but the real story is where that thing is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if you think if there were mountains behind this, then it would be more of a landscape.
Well, perhaps if the windmill were a little smaller, so the story were more about where the windmill is.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay, let's flip through. We only have 5 minutes left, so we're going to flip through these really quickly and find things that just jump out.
I'm going to give that a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop right there. Look at that.
Yeah, that's gorgeous, right?
Yep.
It's all about the color, but also the backlighting that's making these leaves glow. This is like it's almost it, right? Like I think this spot has what it needs, but it just needs maybe different light.
Yeah.
Yep, just have to work that scene, keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to move. Oh.
Oh, I love this.
Beautiful.
Yeah, a couple of great black and white
Is that the half dome?
landscapes.
It is.
We were there, people, with Eric Lowenbach.
Here, I think dehaze or graduated neutral density could help
That's
you
where I
out a
found
little.
out what
Bring
the
out some
yam
contrast.
was.
It's the power that be.
Oh, that was amazing. You just flew right by it. Look at that.
It is nice. I feel like I'd dial back the
Ooh.
processing a little bit.
Ooh.
That's beautiful too. I want to go to all these places.
Eric will take us.
Yep.
Our
Let's
new
go.
worldwide tour guide. Gorgeous shot
Colors.
with an interesting shutter. 1.3 seconds. It still shows some motion in the waves. They're not completely feathery, but they are blurred a little bit. But I think it is all about the clouds.
Rule of thirds there is good.
Yeah. This is beautiful, right? I wouldn't call it a landscape, but it's gorgeous.
Wow. Good shots today. We have great viewers.
This is definitely the same scene.
Yeah. How dare he?
Call that a
Cityscape.
cityscape. Okay.
Ooh.
Classic landscape, right?
Yeah, but look at how blown out that top third is.
Yeah, we can't recover it, but I can tell there's beautiful mountains there that just get lost. Bracket your shots and then blend the exposures together later. It doesn't have to be HDR, but you can still blend those different exposures together. Or a graduated ND filter could do it if you're against post-processing.
And can I just say, you can handhold and bracket, but if you're really serious, you really should stick it on a tripod because you just prevent lots of artifacts and weirdness. You know, no matter how good it aligns your photos for you, it's still going to show up, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. And especially as we get into these really high resolution cameras, like Eric and I are both shooting the 5 DSR, 50 megapixels, you really can't ever handhold and get the sharpest image. Like it has to be a tripod if you want to be really sharp. What do you think about this?
I like the idea, but the hand is out of focus.
Yeah, they did make a focal point though. I appreciate that work.
Ooh.
Yeah, beautiful. And here the vegetation, I feel like it adds a little bit to it.
I'd put that on my site over mine.
What? That is a high honor.
Yeah. Yeah, do watch the processing. Like this one, Eric feels a little bit
Oh, I like Eric Herman's
unnatural.
work.
But
A little bright.
there's a picture in there, like especially because of the reflections in the water here. I mean,
This is a great composition. They just didn't get a good time of day. They could go back early morning or at sunset.
yeah, I do like that they worked those stones in the foreground.
Yeah.
Ooh, develop the darkness. Dramatic.
Yeah, I had to assume that was a night photo, but it's not. Okay, it's 5:58.
Excuse me.
We should toss it back to, wow, this is great. I'm giving that one a pick. I like these simple compositions
too.
the best, where it's just all about color. It doesn't have to be anything
Shape.
super complex. People have different styles, but that's definitely my style. And this reflection, absolutely fantastic. And the
give that
sky
a
here
pick.
works really well.
Erkki, what's up? Any words to end on? Any comments, questions, concerns?
A few more questions for Eric. Let's see, a combination of two questions again here. Hold on. So, Eric, how did you get into photography? From Luke George. And Travis Gordon is asking, how do you make money off landscape photography?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I actually sell quite a few landscapes through Getty Images, and it pays for my gear, but I still have to keep my day job. How did I get into photography is a long story, but it really started when I was a teenager. I just had a Pentax K1000 and a 50 millimeter lens, and just loved going around taking photos, and pretty much been involved ever since.
So
I don't
your
think you can
relationship
really
with
make money
Getty,
in
they
landscape
actually reached out to you,
photography.
right?
What's that, Tony?
Getty reached out to you to submit stock, or is that something anybody could do?
Well, they did reach out to me, but I think that you can just submit and get accepted.
Is that right? I know they have a relationship with iStock. I'm not exactly sure how it works. So you submit your photos, and then anybody can buy them and use them?
Yes, and the photos I have on Getty aren't masterpieces by any stretch of the imagination. It's the ones that sell are really just the ones that happen to contain whatever it is the buyer is looking for. They don't have to be great photos.
Yeah, it can be very specific to a location, like a Yosemite picture, or First Travel Pictures will sell if it's like somebody just needs a picture of Boston. It doesn't need to be the best picture in the world. It just needs to be a picture that says Boston is a city, that kind of thing.
Right. They might just need a young Asian woman in front of the Boston skyline, and if you have that picture, you're going to sell it.
Good call.
I'm going to get that picture. I'm inspired by your words.
Who knows? They might need like ham puppets.
Ham puppet?
Ham puppets, yeah.
Like a puppet made of ham?
Yeah, like Kermit's girlfriend. I forget her name.
Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah,
She's a pig, not a ham. Tony watched the other Jim Henson Muppets. They were all made into food. Kermit the Frog Legs.
Okay, it's 6:01. We should thank our sponsor, Squarespace.
Squarespace. If you want your own Squarespace portfolio, you can go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code portfolio to get 10% off. And I want to thank our guest, Eric. Thank you so much for having us out to California and taking good care of us, and for being a guest today.
It was such a delight.
It went by too fast. That hour flew by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be sure to follow Eric on Eric Lowenbach on Twitter and Instagram and any other place. Is that pretty much what you're doing?
500px. Actually, since the show started, I think I've got like 10 new followers. So thanks, guys.
Oh, awesome.
Wow. That we have a lot of influence. So
And then Erkki Alvenmond, who will be on the show in person in a few weeks.
yes.
Live from Sweden. Thanks so much for helping out.
He's intense.
Really like Sweden. Nobody really knows why, though.
I know why. He's told me. Erkki, thank you so much for being Siobhan today. And
It's my pleasure.
we will see you in the flesh soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
See you in 2 weeks. Portraits,
Bye, all.
studio portraits. Bye. Here's Tigar. No, we're just.
That is
No,
all.
it's just awkwardly.
Oh, thanks, guys.